ما فيش مشكلة شكرا. السلام عليكم. بسم الله. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gabor Molnar. I'm an Industrial Development Officer at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, or UNIDO, based in Vienna, Austria. And my job is basically to support our member states in order to improve their supply chains and manage the skills gap which they have when it comes to global supply chains. Today I would like to focus on the sustainability aspect of supply chains and how supply chains are changing nowadays. So perhaps I will start with the short introduction of our organization, UNIDO. Then I would like to touch upon global trade as well as the role of sustainable supply chains. And at the end, I would like to bring some examples from our project so you have a better understanding of our work. Our project and our organization is basically having the motto, progress by innovation, meaning we are trying to support our member states to adopt the latest technologies and solutions when it comes to different industrial sectors. Our organization was established in 1996 and has more than 170 member states. We have, as a Director General, Dr. Gabor Molnar since 2021, and he shaped the organization to a new future. We have about 700 staff members and 2,200 personnel, and we are focusing on inclusive and sustainable industrial development. In this regard, we are basically providing technical cooperation projects, but we have a normative and analytical function, meaning we are establishing as well as basically publishing different type of industrial reports and statistics. The mandate of the organization is unique in the sense that we convene the public as well as private sector as part of our projects, and we try to promote and accelerate industrial development. During the Lima Declaration in 2013, the organization has also adopted a new approach which is labeled under inclusive and sustainable industrial development, which means that we are trying to facilitate higher level of industrialization among our member states, also leaving no one behind. As part of this, we are also trying to promote knowledge and sources for local value addition among our member states. The organization itself has basically 48 field offices, 9 regional offices, as well as 9 investment and technology promotion offices. These investment and technology promotion offices trying to support companies to introduce their technologies and solutions under different initiatives among low and middle income countries. In 2023, we had about 120 projects and invested $220 million in different countries. These are basically capacity building initiatives, and as part of these capacity building initiatives, we are building the skills of our beneficiaries. Perhaps focusing and lingering a bit on the importance of industrial development cooperation and the 2030 agenda. When it comes to the Human Development Index, we clearly see a correlation between skills as well as manufacturing value added. And those countries where we have the highest GDP per capita, we can also see that manufacturing plays a crucial role. So overall, industrialization drives economic transformation and development, which is necessary for all countries in order to ensure a prosperous future. We have 3 strategic priorities when it comes to UNIDO. Firstly, sustainable supply chain supporting resilience as well as innovation in different industrial sectors. Secondly, climate action. I think it's very well known our current issues when it comes to climate change as well as different climate catastrophes which are taking place all over the world. And thirdly, ending hunger, focusing very much on the sustainable development too, through our SDG 9, which is around innovation, industry, and infrastructure. We have also a number of cross-cutting themes when it comes to technology, gender, as well as social challenges such as women's economic empowerment. So focusing on global trade, the role of sustainable supply chains. Firstly, what is sustainable supply chains? Sustainability in supply chain is about management of environmental, social, and economic impacts, as well as encouragement of good government practices throughout the life cycle among different type of companies. But when it comes to sustainable supply chains and sustainability in general, we see that there are a number of risks and challenges which we have to take into consideration because they can lead to supply chain disruptions. These are climate change, sustainability-driven regulations, which I would like to focus on a bit more, geopolitical tension, as well as the most recent COVID-19 pandemic also showed that it can have clear impact on sustainability and on our supply chains. So in case of the regulatory framework and supply chains, we see that sustainability is coming in stronger and stronger because regulators realized that environmental, social, and good governance standards are not achieving their expected objectives when it comes to sustainability. Therefore, they are moving from a voluntary system to a mandatory system, which can create an overburden for producers. Numerous standards are being introduced, and this also creating a confusion very often within the private sector and market segregation. Supply chains are being reshaped and trying to avoid risks of potential disruptions for the future. This is just an example of what is happening in the European Union when we are talking about the EU Green Deal. You can see that there are a number of directives and legislations, acts are being introduced, which are becoming quite complex for especially small and medium enterprises to comply with. And because of this, very often they are even moving out of markets. So what we are trying to do at UNIDO is to support our member states in creating more productive, resilient, and sustainable supply chains at global and local levels by introducing new technologies, transferring knowledge, and promoting overall industrial production. Member states also require support when it comes to strengthening their supply chains, and in this regard, we adopted a resolution during our last general conference in 2022 December. We also identified 5 key industrial areas or transformation areas which we have to emphasize. One of them is improved environmental sustainability, new business models and joint ventures and incentive structures for small and medium enterprises to comply with upcoming regulations, enhanced transparency as well as resilience, meaningful greener technologies, as well as capacity sharing and skills development in order to ensure better wage for workers. Providing some examples from UNIDO and on our initiatives related to sustainable supply chains, we have a global program where we have a number of focus areas when it comes to sustainable supply chains. Firstly, we had a regional project in West Africa where we are trying to introduce quality and safety standards among food businesses as well as other industrial sectors. We also promote sustainable investments through a website which is called ACP Business Friendly, where investment banks and international financial institutions are able to identify potential projects for future investment. Another example when it comes to skills development is our Learning and Knowledge Development Facility. The Learning and Knowledge Development Facility is a unique public-private initiative where we are creating linkages between private sector operators, very often equipment manufacturers, in order to create local skills, local training academies for youth employment. And thirdly, we have also different type of center of excellence when it comes to circular economy. For instance, in Ethiopia, we established a coffee training academy in order to promote sustainability among different actors. As a first example, I would like to bring to you is Morocco, where, as you can see in the Economist article in 2016, the first investments took place in the automotive sector. And at that time, the South African automotive sector played a huge role in the African continent. Since then, and you can see on the right side, the automotive sector in Morocco transformed, basically tapping on opportunities when it comes to not only the European market, but also the Americas. At the same time, in order to avoid disruption in Morocco in the automotive sector and supply different parts as well as vehicles to Europe, we started a project together with the German government in order to train those businesses on the most recent German Supply Chain Act. As part of this, they also learning how to report, how to apply due diligence, and what are the due diligence requirements when it comes to export markets. Another example is from the bauxite value chain, and what you can see in a lot of countries that they are eager on having more value-added product, improving their manufacturing sector. In case of Guinea, we are trying to improve the aluminium industry, working together with different type of actors from the industry, academia, as well as the government. As part of, as I mentioned before, we have this unique Learning and Knowledge Development Facility, or LKDF, and we are collaborating very often with different manufacturers in equipment. In this regard, we are collaborating with SIDA, Volvo, as well as Epiroc in DRC, as well as Uganda, and we are building 2 training centers in order to actually improve the skills of youth when it comes to maintenance as well as use of this equipment. In Zambia, I think you might have also read in the recent news that Zambia stopped exporting to other markets for the purpose of improving their value addition when it comes to the mining sector. And in order to ensure labor safety as well as improved value addition in this country, we are working together with 2 countries and 2 multinational companies. In case of Sweden, it's Volvo and the Swedish Development Agency. And in case of Japan, with Hitachi, in order to improve the skills of local youth, also in the same way in heavy equipment operation as well as maintenance. Finally, I wanted to bring a very interesting new tool which we are developing when it comes to due diligence as well as sustainability regulations. We understand that this is a very complex regulatory matter, and very often SMEs are confused how to comply with export market requirements. The purpose of this rapid scan tool would be dual. On one way, to educate SMEs on different regulatory requirements when it comes to sustainability. On the other hand, for governments to understand where do they stand in terms of regulatory equivalence with other export markets. We also develop different type of investment as well as sustainability curricula for our beneficiaries. On one hand, in case of the sustainability curricula, we have training manuals, learning materials to improve ESG preparedness of SMEs as well as youth. And in case of responsible investment, which is increasing, we are also trying to create international alliances as well as bankable investment opportunities for different IFIs.
I just also wanted to share with you a couple of publications which we have had in the recent months when it came to sustainable supply chains. And finally, I want to bring your attention to a global event which we are organizing in the beginning of next year. Because when it comes to the sustainability regulations, there is a big question: who is going to pay for it? Small and medium enterprises are indeed reluctant, and they have to invest not only in certification, but in new technologies, as well as training their staff, and very often also increasing their wage. Of course, this type of additional compliance cost can create a lot of challenges for SMEs to remain competitive. And this requires a global dialogue among the industry, as well as governments, especially regulators, as well as academia and international organizations. Our event is aiming to bring together all actors to see that how we can create a more fair globalization. With this, I would like to thank for your attention, and if you have any questions, I'm very happy to respond those as part of bilateral meetings. Thank you very much.